the show. Try to, strive for a little bit of professionalism. But tonight we're suspending professionalism because it is New Year's Eve. Have a drink, have a smoke, do whatever you do, bro.
Salute.
Salute. Cheers, my friend. So what's going on with the Let Me Downs right now, Pat?
We kind of in the middle of like writing, trying to write when we get together as much as possible, and then preparing for whatever show we happen to have coming up, because that's when Paul, myself, and Garrett can get in the room together, is when we got a show coming up. Paul's in Arizona, Garrett and I are in Washington, Tacoma to be exact.
Tacoma, a girl from Tacoma, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what got Paul down to Arizona. Is that it, Pat, or something like that?
Well, not really.
Should we let him tell that story, or what?
I mean, yeah, it's his story to tell, but basically he met this girl at punk rock bowling a few years back, and they really hit it off, as people do. And
yes, sir.
he, they were flying back and forth between Arizona and Washington to spend time with each other. And eventually she moved down to Arizona, and being a Northwesterner, she was like, fuck all this heat. So,
dry ass Arizona heat, man.
Yeah. So they moved up to Washington, and, it just didn't work out. And Paul was like, she was the reason I was up here. I'd rather be in Arizona, but I don't want to lose the band. So, in the age of the internet, we can do this. I was skeptical, honestly. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. Got fuck all going on. So let's do it. And, worked out. I mean, oddly enough, the 2020, that whole shit show with, COVID that's still going on, actually worked for our benefit, because we were able to just not even worry about anything, just write and send tracks back and forth. And,
that's a funny thing you say about 2020 and everything. I had a very productive 2020, even with all the shit going on and all the bullshit we went through. I think it shined a light on a lot of dark shit here in the country, but I think not enough people, talk about the highlights. I mean, there's a lot of good shit that happened. I started PRF. I started this hell of a, shit show that I got going here. And, that was all in 2020. So I got personal things that I think were great too, man. And definitely, I got to thank a guy for introducing me to your music, Blake Seven. He's a fan of using of you guys.
Yeah, I met Blake down in Arizona. He's known Paul for a long time. That dude is like, he's just a super cool guy.
Absolutely.
And he seems to champion our band. And I didn't really know him, like met him at our first show.
Sure.
And then after that, he's like championing our band. And I'm just like, wow, this guy's kind of awesome.
He's a rad little dude, man. He is a huge Authority Zero and Let Me Down fan, man. And I was talking to him one night. We were in the Zero Crew chat room or whatever that is that they got set up, and I met him in there. He's a super nice guy, and he's like, man, if you like Authority Zero, he's like, check these guys out. So he sent me the video for Girl from Tacoma, and I was like, oh shit. And then I clicked on the next one down. I was like, well, Jameson on Ice, that's a killer fucking song, dude.
I appreciate that.
I mean, obviously it's about, you like to drink a little JMO, but what's the story behind that song, Pat?
So, that's the first song that we actually wrote as a band. Like,
oh, shit.
Yeah. So Paul came in and he had 3 tracks. He had 3 songs pretty much written. Well, I mean, he had 3 songs written, but then Garrett and myself were like, hey, what if we did this to this song? What if we did this? And we put our own flavor into it. And as long as Paul was real acceptive to everything we had going, which is super hard to do when you've already got a song written.
Sure.
It's like, hey, no, this is my song. What are you guys doing? And Paul was like, yeah, that works. Let's do that. And then Paul had that bass line. He's like, I don't know what to do with this.
Dude.
And he started playing that bass line. I'm like, well, we got to do something with it because that's fucking sick.
That was
so,
rad, for sure.
Yeah, I came up with that part right after his bass line, that da-da-da-da-da-da. I just came up with that. And then we just sort of threw the song together. And like after we were jamming it a couple times, I'm like, hey, Paul, do you mind if I try singing on this one? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And like the chorus just kind of came to me. This is my life, Jameson on ice, and and then I just kind of, to be 100% like honest about it, I had seen this girl a few dates and I really dug her, and it didn't work out. So what I did
Sorry.
is I extrapolated that couple of dates into a relationship and wrote a song about it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So there was,
wherever it comes from, bro. I mean, that's a great story, man.
yeah,
I think a lot of
know,
people can relate, bro. You know what I mean?
yeah, a lot of people, self-medicate and, get upset about shit and don't know what
Sure,
they did wrong. And
sure. When
like
you
that you're drinking hams.
no, it's
No,
actually
that's not hams.
it's Natty Light. It's even
Natty
worse.
Light. Oh,
It's even worse.
wow.
What are you
That's
gonna do?
camp. That's camping beer right there.
It is. It is. It's that kind of beer, that you drink them down and you enjoy it.
Yeah, well, you can drink like 20 or 30 of them and still function. That's what's great about those type of beers. You can
Absolutely,
you
absolutely,
can you can party all night long, session it up, and you're still good.
absolutely.
Still
You know,
making coherent sentences.
I that's why I always kind of like light beer. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get all. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I see you wearing a punk rock dad sweatshirt.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
how did you discover PRD, man?
I honestly have no idea how I found it. I think I was, starting to like, you know, different punk rock groups and stuff that were coming through. And I think it may have been a suggestion, like, the Facebook suggestions that they do. And
Absolutely.
I was like, what's this? So it was the original punk rock dads, not version
Sure.
76 like we're on now.
Yeah.
And I clicked on it and I was like, you know what? I am a punk rock dad, so I got to be a part of this. So
I
I,
think Richard did a great thing there, man, and I think it's a lot of great guys are in there. You know what I mean? And I think you
yeah,
help a lot of people, dude. I think it's pretty
yeah,
cool and help
I,
them.
I, I see a lot of, just, hey, I haven't posted this anywhere else, but I wanted to say this in this group. This is what I'm going through, and a lot of dads have the same kind of story. We, if we're single dads, generally we don't have our kids. We get to see them when we can see them. If you had a cool, if your kid's mom was cool
Hey,
enough to
not to
not
interrupt, but we
fight
got
ridiculously.
Stump. Is that Garrett? I've never
Garrett
talked to him.
joining?
Yes, let's talk to him. We're admitting Garrett now. Hey,
Hey,
mute button.
Garrett,
Unmute.
unmute yourself, Garrett.
I just asked him to unmute. I'm figuring it out, Pat. We'll get her down.
Can you guys hear me now?
Hey,
I
Garrett,
hear
how
you
you doing,
now.
buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you showing up. I've never got a chance to talk to you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How's the weather over there?
We're actually the weather tonight's pretty mild out here in Ohio. We're talking, I don't know, like what, Dad, 55, something like that, 50 degrees, something like that, real mild, real mild.
It's a lot warmer than it is here.
Pat was telling me it was cold as hell and real icy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like 27 right now. This is not normal for Washington, not lower Puget Sound region, anyways.
No shit.
Uh, yeah, I mean, we get down here every now and then. We get our highs. We'll break 100 every now and again, but most of the time, 40 to 80 all year round. 40 in the winter and the fall, 80 in the summer.
I was talking to Rev the other day, the guy from the grounds, and he was like, he can't even get it on his street. He's in Washington, and he like
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah. Rev's up in like kind of Seattle-ish area.
Oh, okay, okay.
He's
Yeah,
a good
man.
friend.
He said he couldn't even get down the road. Are you guys iced up like that where you're at?
Yeah, but go ahead, Garrett.
I was gonna say where I'm at. Yeah, it's pretty iced up right now.
It's pretty iced up where I'm at, but I've got a Jeep, and as long as I'm smart and think about how I'm driving, I can get. I haven't been stuck in it. I've been able to get anywhere I want to go.
Right on. We'll just stay safe, fellas. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I know how iced, especially coming from Ohio. I mean, fuck, dude. Usually we're covered by now. We're asshole deep in snow. So, you know,
Yeah.
now though, it's like weird. It's like Indian summer or something, man. But I'm really not complaining. I was here for
Yeah.
that a long time. So Garrett, man, I love the drumming, dude. Oh well, yeah. Hey,
Sorry, I'm
He had to
putting
get a
down my
drink.
headphones.
no, my friend, it's okay, man. Go get a drink. Go do what you got to do, brother.
What's
Um,
that? What were you
I,
asking?
I was just saying, man, I love the drumming. It's killer. You're
Thank you.
back there. You got a heavy foot, man. It sounds really good. I try. I'm not that great at drumming, but you're definitely you're killing it back there, man. I love the songs. I'm selling Pat. I told Paul before. You guys are a great band, man. I'm really happy to have you guys here tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely. It's my honor. So what's going on with you, man?
Just working. That's it, really. And then making sure I had to try to get to our practice space today, but because of the snow, I couldn't get to it.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right.
Well, Pat, I kind of asked Pat, and I've asked Paul before, but let me ask you and Pat, kind of give me like just the genesis, kind of let me down. That way, everybody at home kind of gets just a feel of it. You know what I mean? We don't got to get crazy with it, but just like how you guys met and what you were trying to do with everything.
Do you want to go first, Pat?
Sure. I think we're gonna have the same story on how we met. I mean, that's pretty obvious to us. I mean, when my kid was born, I needed a job. The bartending job I had was at the slowest bar in Tacoma. I was barely making any money. So before he was born, I was like, well, I'll give Guitar Center a chance. I just got to, I got to make some money. It'd be stupid or whatever, but
Sure.
at least it's a steady paycheck.
Absolutely.
And so I started working at Guitar Center. That's where I met Stump. It turned out to be a decent job. I mean, I like the people that work there. I don't like the corporationness of it all because,
Sure.
they think they know what they're doing at a corporate level, and I think they forget that it's a music store a lot of times.
Absolutely.
You got the CEO of Fred Meyer's running things. The next thing you know, we're selling 5-hour energy drinks and crap like that. It's just like, dude, what's next? Bananas? Like, give it a break. Like, we're a music store. Be a music store.
Right.
But I mean, generally you get a bunch of really decent guys there who are musicians trying to do stuff, and then you know Guitar Center ends up losing the guys who know what they're talking about because they don't want to pay you what you're worth, so they'll hire somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about and pay them less.
Absolutely.
So,
That seems to be the culture, today in America with day-to-day jobs. I mean, they don't want to pay people, their talent, what they're worth, but not.
yeah.
But
But Garrett and I we kind of knew we had a similar music, so we talked about jamming together for the longest time, and I just pretty much my fault, never did until Paul came around, I guess.
right on.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. And then how me and Paul met, we know kind of the same people. I used to live in Arizona, and I played in bands down there quite a bit, and so we kind of run the same kind of circle, the same people, especially like the Authority guys. I've known those guys for a really long time.
Nice.
So that's kind of where me and him are at. But we also kind of knew each other on Facebook a little bit because we were kind of in groups and stuff, and just that was pretty much it. And he was, before the band started, the band I was in at the time, I don't even know what's going on with that band, so I'm not even going to say that the band exists anymore. I don't know if we're on a hiatus, whatever the case may be. And so I was just, I have to play music. I have to. It's my passion. It's really what I got to do. And he was like, hey, I'm moving up there. Let's start a band. And he's, he wasn't sure if he wanted to do guitar or bass. There's always guitar players. There's never bass players in Tacoma.
Right.
At least decent, good bass players. And I know he's a solid bass player. Playing a band with them, I know he's a solid bass player. So, and I knew the bands that he's played in. So it kind of just, I was just like, it works. And we were looking for a guitar player, and, a bunch of people were kind of recommending out, everybody pretty much. And then a few people actually did recommend Pat, and I was excited because then I'm like, oh, great. Now I get to play with, Pat, and I get to play with Paul. And it's kind of just written in history or stone or whatever you want to say.
Right.
Our first practice, I mean, we wrote not even majority. I think it was what three songs, two.
Yeah,
three?
we figured out the 3 songs that Paul brought, and then rewrote them to be this version of, because he had a Let Me Downs in Arizona before he moved up here, and that's why we kept the name, because he already had the Facebook page and the whatever.
Right
And
on.
so he had these 3 songs, and we started working on them, and we made them. I've heard the original versions, and like they're good. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I like the ones that I'm involved with better because that's the way it is. But like they're a bit. You can tell that they're different players, and you want to put your own feel and stamp on things that you're doing. I was in a band where I joined after the album was already out, and everything was this way and that way, and I had to do what they were like, and I'm like, I have no heart in this band. I'm in a cover band right now, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't care. And it took off real fast from us with those 3 songs, because we had them down. We had them basically not rewritten, but put into what we wanted to do with them. Yeah, as in Garrett and myself, because Paul already had what he wanted to do with them. And then, it, it was pretty fast, and it was good. It kind of solidified the idea.
The songs. I mean, I love them. I think they're great. I think it's a really really good album. That's why I've been kind of trying to. I don't know if you noticed. I put them up. I put the songs up. I try to kind of.
No, I see the support, and I appreciate it.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I if I like something, I get behind it, and I'm happy to do it, man. I think it's really rad music, and I kind of like. I've always been on the poppier end of it myself. You know what I mean? And
Me too.
I feel like you guys have that, and but you guys aren't like anybody else. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, well, they sound like the Queers, or they sound like Screeching Weasel, or something like that. You guys have your. I think you have your own sound. I fucking dig it. So, I wish you the best on all that, man. So Pat, you were saying you're working and stuff. Do you work at do you work with like Jameson, or where do you
No,
work now, bud?
I'm a project manager for a fence company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. I seen that T-shirt and I'm like Barrel something. I was like, man, maybe he works with that.
No, oddly enough, that was a T-shirt that Stump gave me from. I think, was it from a mustache competition or something like that?
Yeah.
My Jameson.
Oh, dude, I read that about you, Gary.
Yeah, so it was from I won. It was down in Oregon, and I won. It was one of the prizes that I won. It was part of the gift, and it just didn't fit me. And I'm like, Pat, do you want this? And he's like, yeah. And it was actually, wasn't it a long sleeve, Pat?
It was, until I got it.
Yeah, and then he took the sleeves off. So.
Yeah, I see you grilling shit up in it, and I was like, well, damn, man, those dudes know how to get down. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like know how to have fun, man. So that's killer.
Yeah, that was, what was that? May of 2020 when we shot that video. So
yeah,
May of 2021. May of 21 when we shot that video, and people were just barely willing to come anywhere. I'm like, hey, bring your masks, bring your vaccines.
Absolutely.
Come on over. Let's have we're gonna shoot a video. Did it at my house. Just not a lot of people showed up because not a lot of people were leaving their house yet, and I can't blame anybody for that.
I dig it, man. It looks like you guys had some fun. I mean, shit.
Oh, we always have fun. If we ain't making money, better have fun.
Well, I mean, I can agree to that. I'm on that end of the spectrum myself. So what are you gonna do, man? Dude. Like again, I'm gonna say again, thank you, man, for coming on. Let me ask you this: what got you into punk rock, Pat? Like, I know we kind of touched on this talking before, but
Yeah. So I was playing in a band in like the early '90s. I was playing in this. It was on the poppier edge of, let's be honest, like a grunge thing. This was like '92, and my buddy Kevin, who was the guitar player of the band, we were really hanging out a lot and discussing stuff, and he started to introduce me to music that I hadn't heard before, because high school I went to, the only punk rock I was indoctrinated to was, here, check this out. And it was, I'm not even gonna say the band name, but it was this angry skinhead, and not like traditional skin. I'm talking angry Nazi skin, and I'm just like, that's punk rock? Fuck all that. I'm not that guy. I don't hate anybody for any fucking reason, you know, just because of whatever. So if that's punk rock, I'm not into it. I don't want to hear nothing about it. And it took me a long time to get past that. And you know, I knew and trusted Kevin, and he started, you know, just kind of showing me these bands, and you know, it was like this just great music after great music after great music. You know, he was showing me Bad Religion and Down by Law and Dag Nasty, and you know, he gave me I think when I joined Shifter, which was a pop punk band, I'd already been indoctrinated into the early Green Day, and I'm talking about 1039, Smoothed Out, and Kerplunk, which, you know, just phenomenal albums. No radio play, no nothing, just phenomenal albums. And you know, and then he gave me like, I think he gave me, it was Face to Face, Don't Turn Away on one side, and Propaganda's How to Clean Everything on the other side. And after that, I just never looked back. Those were still two of my favorite albums of all time. I remember going down to Olympia at the Capitol Theater and seeing Propaganda play reversed, so you're playing to the back of the stage, and there was maybe 100 people there, maybe, and you know, they just tore it up as a 3-piece, and I was floored. I was just like, how the fuck is this dude playing that shit flawlessly and singing at the same time? Like, I can't even play what that dude plays, let alone play it and sing it at the same time. It's just, I was absolutely floored, you know.
It's a badass, man. I mean, that's all.
And then and then I got to see Face to Face open up for it was No Effects and Face to Face at the King Theater in Seattle with I think it was at the end of at the White Trash tour. I don't think Punk and Drublic could come out yet. You know, and then I saw Green Day open up for Bad Religion before Dookie came out. Yeah, it's crazy, these bands that, you know, you see, you know, on the upswing, and you're just like, fuck, I can't believe I saw them open for these guys. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems so weird. But and you know, I was really indoctrinated into punk rock through all of the 90s, and then it just sort of, it oddly enough became too constrictive, like what you had to be punk rock.
Okay.
I remember just being like, I can't take the rules anymore. Like punk rock's supposed to be completely freeing, and it was this seriously like overly PC'd culture, overly like judgmental, and I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to do it anymore. And then I just kind of went back and started playing in rock bands, I guess. But if you listen to those rock bands that I was playing in, you can hear the punk rock element of, because I'm writing the song still. I've still got that in my blood. It's just not, I've got that edge to it still, you know. And then it's still PC, but it doesn't seem as constrictive as it once did. And I could be wrong. I hope I'm not.
I think you're pretty well dead on. I mean, as far as I can tell, it trends in different directions all the time, you know. But I think we're definitely like in a PC kind of time right now, and I don't feel like we're really overly constricted yet.
Yeah,
but I think it's, you know,
and I don't have any problem with PC. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of shit that people, you know, needed to learn and needed to figure out, and how to treat each other and shit. But like, I was talking to Donnie from Zeke, and he was telling me he was on tour one time and they got kicked out of a house because they were making breakfast, and Dizzy made some eggs. And like, the people apparently in the house were vegan and completely freaked out about him making eggs on their stove. It's like, you know, we're on tour, we're in a van, we're just trying to eat. Right. You know, sorry.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. You know,
that's wild, man.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know Zeke at all, or
I kicked in the teeth. I had that album, you know, and I mean, dude, they're good, man. I mean, you know,
they're great. Oddly enough, they were bigger like in the rest of the United States than they were here in Washington, which is crazy because they're just a phenomenal band.
I mean, they are great.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like us.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
We had an interview. We were fortunate enough to talk to Bill Stevenson, and he was like, I'm a drummer, like I said, and I couldn't play coffee mug to save my life. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out where I should hit, anything. So Bill pulls out his phone, makes me listen to Zeke during the interview, and he's like, "That's how you do it." I'm like, "Thank you, Bill." And then he broke it down for me, but it was one of the coolest things to hear him talk
Yeah.
about Zeke. You know what I mean?
So the drummer for Zeke's name is Donnie Paycheck. He brings it. He's in another group right now that we played with in a roundabout way. I mean, it was like a festival style, like 8 or 10 bands, but the Cutthroat Brothers, they're like kind of a 2-piece surf band, like
Punk
really
surf,
cool. Like, I mean, the
surf.
guitar player just plays slide all the time, and they just put out a new album with Mike Watt on bass.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, those guys are super cool. I'm super happy called Donnie and Jason my friends. Like they're rad people.
Rad, man. That's rad. Now, Garrett, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Pat. What got you into punk rock, man?
So kind of the same thing during high school. I'm from a small town in Arizona, so
Okay.
there, it's either you listen to what your parents are into or top 40. That's it. That's all you get. And a friend of mine, when he was in a grade higher than me, was like, "Oh, you got to check this band out." My older brothers were really into like Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, like all those bands too. But he showed me it was a tape of Toy Dolls, the Ramones, Operation Ivy, Rancid, and NoFX. It was just like one song each.
Hell yeah.
And I really gravitated towards the NoFX and the Ramones stuff. Well, while I'm learning, about this, I'm also discovering thrash metal or thrash punk, whatever you want to call it. So I'm discovering, Metallica, Anthrax, Exodus, all like the big four basically of that genre.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. And then I'm, also discovering this pop stuff. I'm, got introduced to MXPX, who else was it at the time? Hollister, just a lot of the pop punk stuff, and then getting into then Green Day, kind of the same sort of what Pat and what Paul. It's kind of the same thing for me. Is while it was happening, I was listening to it, didn't realize what was there,
Sure.
and then I joined my first punk band in high school.
Okay.
I was probably 14, I think 15, 14 at the time. Whenever I really dove into drums. I wanted to be, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to be the next John Bonham. I wanted to be Buddy Rich. I wanted to be, those guys were the dudes that I listened to. My parents were like, "No, you need to be Keith Moon. You need, that's who," I was like, "Okay, cool."
Nothing wrong with Keith Moon.
Not at all.
Exactly.
Dolly loves him.
and so, but then I just, discovered I wanted to play, as fast as I could. Then I'm listening to NoFX and MXPX. Those are the two bands that I gravitated more towards for speed. Well, listening to those guys, and that's where I've got that to be able to, and that's with one foot. But I grew up in a scene where it was more about the fashion and more about your stage presence than what was more about your attitude. And I love those bands. The bands that I did that with were really screamo bands, were, the really angst, because I was, my early to, late 20s or late teens to early 20s, and toured, did all that, was, this, playing double bass and doing all that stuff. Whatever. But my roots always went back to pop punk and punk, no matter what. I was always I always got attached to those bands. And I just then discovered more bands that I got into. But Ramones to me is Ramones, Descendants, and No Effects are probably my three top favorite bands. And Descendants, especially for the three of us, I know is probably our three favorite out of the bunch.
I
Out of
know
the
at least two of us have Descendants tattoos.
I'm the only one that doesn't have it yet. Um,
I want to
but
get Milo. I don't have one either.
yeah, I don't have a Milo tattoo.
He's
But
on there somewhere.
um, but like yeah, for me basically it was just in high school. But I also discovered a radio station down in Arizona, and uh, I'll go kind of full circle with it. So uh, Paul's friends with this guy who does a punk rock Sunday night kind of show at like 10 to 12 o'clock at night on a Sunday night.
I'm aware.
Let's be honest. Paul's friends with everybody.
Well, Paul and I know I knew who this guy was.
Are you talking
Craven
about
Moorhead? Yes, Craven Moorhead.
Craven Moorhead.
And which my thing is I always told myself, hey, my biggest achievement is to be on this radio show. At some point in my life, I want to be on that radio show. And this band, out of all the bands I've been in, this was the band that made it on there.
That's
and
awesome.
that was a big deal for me. That's a huge. It might not be for everybody, but
It's
for
rad,
me,
man.
it is. It's super cool. And to have a guy that's like, somebody that I've heard on the radio every day, or not through my high school years playing punk rock and the stuff that not that everybody else could listen to.
Sure.
So it was really something I was really proud of. And now, I've played with bands that, like, I tell people, yeah, I've been on the stage with No Effects and Bad Religion. I've shared the stage with Face to Face and the Flatliners, and I've shared the stage with Agent Orange. And, I mean, that's insane to say that I've got to meet. Here's a quick story, real quick, and this is a memory that popped up actually today on Facebook. In 2004, I was in a band called Box Cutter, and it was just a cool little punk rock band, nothing garage punk. And I had this dude come up to me, and we've kind of been talking, and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, my name is Mike. I'm in a band called Last Action Zero. Here's our CD. Our drummer cannot make this show. He was put in jail. You have, basically."
Hate it when that happens.
Right?
Me too.
And so he was like, "You have, a few days to learn these." It was like, I don't know, it was around like 60-ish something songs, but we only played like 30. And I had the
Is he frozen?
I think he's frozen. Come on, Garrett. Come on, stream.
now
Oh,
Pat is frozen.
You're
Can you
back.
see me?
Yeah, I can see you now, buddy.
Okay, so the long short of it, basically, I ended up seeing Authority Zero play in a big arena. I got to see Authority Zero play in a big arena. I've known these guys or known who they were since 2002. At this point, it was 2004, 2005. So I'm seeing our hometown hero, home state heroes playing this big arena. I didn't know 3 weeks later I would be playing with them that band called Last Action Zeros. Also playing with like these other big bands at the time that were in that punk scene. And I became friends with these guys over the years, and it's still a memory to me. And I still joke with Bill from Authority. Well, he's no longer in Authority, but
I love Bill. Great guy.
He kept. It's a memory that I will always have. He kept handing me Jack and Cokes all night, and I wasn't even 21, and this is backstage, so I'm already at that point. I'm already shit faced. But it's just one of those things that I can remember. Literally going from seeing them play in arena and then playing direct support to this band.
Nice.
Was just, and that was what really started it for me. Was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Like,
speaking about authority, I have this is the new setup, over here, and I put a authority hat back there because I'm a big fan. They are they're a great band, man. I've had the pleasure of talking to Jason, and it was they're great, man, and that had to be like just a fucking killer experience, Garrett. I mean,
they're the reason.
Imagine that, dude.
Oh yeah, they're the reason I don't drink Jaeger anymore.
I've heard they're pretty crazy guys.
Especially when it comes to Jaeger.
Pat, man, what's going on? Are we good to go on you maybe playing one or?
Oh no, I didn't even set up for that.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, man.
No, dude, don't worry about it.
Yeah, my guitar's within reach. I suppose I could, but
no, dude, don't worry about it, brother. So, we have a 45-minute limit here on this, and I am coming to about 7 minutes. I'm just letting you guys know. That's all. And going forward, starting next week, I'll be back live streaming. So, when you guys come back, I'll do everything live if you want to come.
Yeah, of course, man.
Everything. What do you guys got coming up? I see you guys had a show maybe coming up here shortly.
Yeah, we're playing with. Oh God, who are we playing with?
Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. So it's Decriminal, and actually the guys from who is it? Let's see. Actually, Decent Criminal, Raging Nathans, and it's
our new friends College Radio,
and it's going to be at the Plaid Pig in Tacoma on January 15th. And what is it? $8, I believe, pre and 10 at the door. Something like that. It's 21 and up. And then we also have another show coming up in February, which is with who is that all with?
Urethane Caballero's band. No shit. Chad.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah,
that's rad.
Yep.
That's
so
rad.
Again, Paul knows Chad. They've been friends for a long time, and when we were at Punk Rock Bowling, we went and saw them. They were one of the first bands on Saturday, I think, on the main stage, and we went and saw them, and it was fucking good. They sounded really good. We're like, wow, these guys, I mean, I don't think they're getting by on Cab's name or anything. I know that people may think some shit like that, but they're a good band.
They rock.
And we're trying to get some shows with those guys. Good. I don't know what's going on here. Trying to get some
time limit. That's what
trying to get some shows with those guys, and we are able to get one on the 25th. We were trying to play the SkaterCon show with them on the 26th, but that just kind of fell through. It didn't work out for whatever reason. It didn't work out, and I guess we're going to try to play some more shows with them in the spring and summer. We'll see what happens.
Right on.
Yeah.
How was Punk Rock Bowling, guys? How was that?
Huh?
How was Punk Rock Bowling? That had to be fucking killer.
That was Paul goes every year, I guess, and that was my first year.
I've never been.
It's dude, you gotta man, I should have trained. I don't drink as much as I used to, and I rolled in Thursday, and me and Paul met each other. He picked me up from the airport. We went straight to the hotel and started drinking, and this was 1. So by 11 o'clock at night, when we're at the first bar show, which was Get Dead and Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Yeah.
And oh God, who played after them? I was so drunk I don't remember who played after him, but it was another just amazing band. And we got there. I don't know how. We just walked past security. We had tickets, no reason to walk past security, but we just walked in, and then Paul disappeared. Next thing I know, he got kicked out.
Oh man.
And then I watched Teenage Bottle Rocket, and the next band was coming on, and I was just, I've been drinking for 14 hours. So I started to go back to the hotel, and I was just going to go to bed. And then I played poker until 6 o'clock in the morning instead.
Jesus, dude.
And then Friday was I was done. All day Friday was horrible. The only thing that got me up was I was sitting over by the monster stage, which is the smaller stage, and all of a sudden I hear the Queers, and I'm like, "What? Queers?"
Oh yeah,
So stoked. Never seen the Queers before. Turn around, there's the
they're
Queers.
rad live.
Freaking awesome.
They're nice.
Stayed all the day. Watched. I don't remember if no, they weren't. I was trying to remember when the Bronx were. I think they were Saturday, and the Bronx were. Never seen the Bronx before. Oh my God, I'll never miss them again.
Badass, dude.
Those guys are one of my favorite bands right now.
They're good, man.
Yeah, the Descendants were awesome.
Can only imagine.
Yeah, I couldn't make it for Devo. I watched all on Sunday,
Akron
and
boy.
then
Oh,
I went back to the hotel and just passed out. It was like it was party way too much Thursday, take it mellow Friday, party way too much Saturday, die on Sunday. I'm gonna have to learn how to pace myself. Charlie,
dude, I've never been out there. I'd love to go. How did you go, Garrett? Did you go out there, buddy?
I got invited, but due to my work schedule, I wasn't able to go. But
okay.
I've wanted to go. It would have been amazing. But yeah, if I if I would have went with them, I probably would have drank just as much or probably more than both of them, like as they did.
I couldn't keep up with Paul.
Me and Paul can, especially if it's beer. Me and Paul have skipped practice one time and literally drank for 8 hours straight. And
yeah, I can do that too, but it's the next day.
No, the next day I had to.
Anymore. Let's you know, I mean, fuck, dude. You know, I drink a couple of beers and I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm not much of a drinker anymore. I'm just not, man. I generally don't whatsoever. But you know, with the New Year's coming, I figured, you have a couple, whatever. But the next day, Pat, I'm with you there, buddy. I mean, the next day you're like, you know.
Yeah. It was drinking in the sun all day, and I mean, it was fun. I'd let if the lineup looks good again, I'm gonna go again. If the lineup doesn't look good, I'm not gonna go. I mean, it's a big party. The whole thing was just this massive party, and it was a lot of fun. Met some really cool people. I met some guys in a hotel in an elevator, and dude's just like, "Hey, where are you from?" I'm on Washington. They're like, "Us too." And this dude, Joe, I believe his name is, and he's from this band Mugly from out here. And like we connected, and we traded music, and kind of fans of each other's bands now. Hoping to get a chance to play with those guys.
That's what's up, man. That's how that's how you do it. You get to know people and shit like that, man. I never could make a band work. I'm trying to make this shit work, so we'll see what happens. But you end up meeting cool people, and punk rock's always been like that. Was one of the big things that attracted me to it, man. Was it's all kind of like everybody's cool. You know what I mean?
It's really hard to find people who want to play pretty much the same kind of crap you want to play.
Absolutely.
and then can get into the same room at the same time, and then you actually like being around them too. Like it's really difficult,
I've never been able to make that work for fucking 2 weeks, man. So.
I've been able to make it work several times, but eventually it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Too many drugs, too many stupid shits, too many, like not listening to their part in the song. Just, a lot of people who like the idea of being a band more than being in a band.
Absolutely.
There's
a lot of hard work that goes into it, dude. I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah, totally.
Successful at any level. I mean, it's
totally
insane. Keeping gear, keeping, like you said, off bullshit and not doing bullshit, and it's just a lot of hard work. And I mean, you guys are fucking pulling it off. So I mean, right on.
Yeah, I mean, we found guys that we like to be around. Paul. When Paul comes up here, he stays 3 or 4 days and he sleeps on my couch.
Right on.
And yeah, I'm too old for that crap. So when I go to Arizona, I get a hotel. I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's honest. Honestly, I have the money to afford a hotel when I go down there. Until I don't, and I'm like, why would I not be comfortable?
Sure.
I'm like out of town. I got to use a little vacation to do this. I might as well be comfortable.
Might as well be on vacation.
Exactly.
Fuck, dude. Work your ass off a week. I mean.
Yeah, there's nothing I'd rather do than go play some music.
Right. You just want to play some music and have a good time. I can dig it, man.
Yeah, and there's something there's something about going to Arizona and playing that's super validating. I mean, I know that like Paul's down there, but
Sure.
these aren't my friends, and they seem to like our band. So there's something more. There's something more validating about playing outside of your hometown, where nobody in front of you really knows who you are, and they still like you. It's like, oh, okay, so we are onto something. It's just not. It's not my mom telling me I'm good looking, you know.
Right, right. You know, I mean, I've had that problem. You know, what are you gonna do? You know,
Yeah,
my mom thinks I'm okay looking, but you know, the rest
yeah,
of the people I'm ugly. What are you gonna fucking do?
yeah.
You know,
I have a mirror. Don't lie to me.
such is life. Fuck it. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you guys again, man. Pat, you're a fucking great dude. I had a good conversation with you, man. Garrett, thank you, dude. I appreciate you. The pleasure's all been mine, gentlemen. I want to say that you guys are definitely on something, man. I love the songs. I'm gonna keep listening. I hope everybody out there, you know, picks up, you know, Tacoma's for Lovers, their new record. It's fucking outstanding. Where can they pick that up at, guys?
Well, you can email us directly, and we'll give you some PayPal information and ship it out.
Very
Or
nice.
you can go to chaosmerch.com. She has a link to all of our merch. Gabby Chaos is actually super busy right now.
Absolutely.
Her band.
They're
Oh,
recording.
yeah, they were recording, and the Venomous Pinks are, they're they're starting to pick up some traction and do a lot of stuff.
Badass, man.
So yeah, so
Band.
we've got all our merch right now. So probably the quickest way to get some merch is send us a a message on Facebook, and one of the three of us will check it and get to it, and we'll figure out how to get us some money, and we'll get it shipped out to you. I know we're trying to pick up more. We're trying to get more merch produced for Arizona because everything's in Washington right now, and
Right.
I just don't. We don't want to ship it back and forth for shows, but we want to have everything that we have because Gabby did an amazing job of putting together a lot of different stuff. Like we have a lot of different stuff you can get. You know, you can
I
get
see it. It's good looking.
buttons and stickers and coffee mugs and we don't have any of the coffee mugs with this, but buttons and stickers, bottle openers, shirts, sweatshirts. You know, we got like 4 or 5 different shirts.
Yep.
Shirts are rad, definitely, man.
Yeah, our merch is definitely bigger than we are.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a good way to get the name out there, and the designs are really good, man. So I mean, you know, if something looks good, people are gonna fucking buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we went old school a little bit. We don't have cassettes, but we got CDs. You
Nice.
know,
Yeah.
sold a
And
few of
vinyl.
those.
And vinyl. Don't forget the
And
vinyl.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody's went back to vinyl. Everybody's doing vinyl again, unless you're trying to do it now and you just can't
Yeah, I
because
mean,
apparently it's impossible to get.
we ordered a record player the other night, Mike, and it's even like backed up, you know, because people want vinyl so much, you know, even just get a record
Hmm.
player off freaking, you know, an online distributor.
Yeah. Well,
It's
when CDs came in, all the vinyl plants shut down, and like there's like 5 in the world or something crazy,
yeah,
you know, that's actually producing vinyl, and those guys are making a killing because
fucking a there.
yeah, they can write their price, and you're like, well, I want vinyl. I guess I got to pay that.
I want $40 for a record, you know what I mean? It's fucking
Yeah.
insane, dude.
I remember when I first started seeing vinyl in stores again. I'm like, are you crazy? $30?
It work, dude, but it's coming back apparently, man.
I know.
Retro vibe and all that shit. What are you gonna do? You know, I still stream a lot of music. What do you? I mean, fuck it. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
thanks to Pat and Paul, I've started my own vinyl collection, and I'm starting to get a lot of the stuff from my teenage years to now.
It's an
And
addiction.
it's thanks to them to get me into it. You know, they've been not that they're like pushing me into it, but they'll be like, "Oh, did you get this one?" And they'll, you know, through our group chat, and I'm just kind of like, "I want that record. I really want that record." So
yeah. I've come up with some good ones. I've got I've got Bivouac and 24-Hour Revenge Therapy original pressings, bought at a show from Jawbreaker. I've got this weird radio pressing of Dookie. Like it's not labeled at all, but it's Dookie with this blue marble that Paul really, really wants that he won't have.
Well,
But you know, you could stream us anything that streams music, we're there.
Yep.
So in all the streaming
that's videos are
platforms.
rad, dude. I mean, I Man, I love them. I think great videos. I don't know who you got directing this, but fuck, dude, killer.
Two different people.
Well, we honestly, like, Paul came up with the idea of Tacoma, and I came up with a half-ass idea for Jameson, and Matt Powell, who is in Head Honcho. It's another great band. If you haven't checked them out, they're very technical punk, but really good, really really good. They actually cover a song I wrote back in the '90s called 3 a.m. They don't tell a lot of people I wrote it, but that's where it came from.
Well, their drummer, Doug, he actually did our first one. He actually did Tacoma's for Lovers. And Matt's actually in the video as well. So
yeah,
there's kind of and there's also I don't know what you would call it, like I forget what it's called, but basically
an Easter egg.
Easter egg. There you go. Into with Jameson as well, and I think we're the only ones that have caught on to it. So
I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna message one of you guys and let you know if I figure it out.
Yeah, if you see it, like you'll get it. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if you'll notice it. It's pretty. It'd be one of those aha moments if you see it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Any clues, gentlemen, or I just got to figure it out.
It's sitting next to me.
Yeah, that's about it.
Aha!
Aha!
Aha! Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's killer. Well, gentlemen, we're gonna have to conclude. I want to thank you again. If you guys want to, I will send you another link for the upcoming hour. If you guys want to hang around for the PRF TV podcast, it's a new thing I'm doing. It's just music videos, and we're just gonna talk shit. So if you guys want to hang around, you're more than welcome to. If not, I bid you Happy New Year, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to get to the girlfriend and have a Happy New Year. Want to get out there before it freezes over too much more.
Dude, I appreciate your time. I have enjoyed talking to you on the lead up to this, man. Let's stay in touch, man, for sure.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate you, and thank you so much for your time, sir.
No problem. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year, brother. Gary,
all right.
If you want to stick around, I can send you a link. If not, Happy New Year, my friend. It was nice meeting you.
I think I'm gonna. I got some. I got some stuff going on. But you have a good. If I get to watch it, I will watch it. I definitely want to see which videos you got going on if I'm able to, but for sure, you have yourself a good.
Gentlemen, I was going to start it with Jameson on Ice, so you know what I mean. We'll get you guys one in there, and I have Brandon Landelis coming on, and we're gonna talk shit and nerd out the music videos. So, gentlemen,
that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Why don't you send me that link? Maybe I'll just put it on while I'm driving and not look at it.
Okay, that's good, my friend. I love you guys' band. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thanks for all the support, man.
Not a problem, dude. It's my pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to send you guys links that way if you want to watch it. Cool. Good night. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brothers. Be good. All right, let's start with Brando.